Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to build a SQL Server 2019 DBA real-time home lab in VMware workstation. Before proceeding this video, we need to check what are the minimum hardware requirements need to have. First, whether that our systems should support the virtualization in the BIOS, and 8 GB RAM is mandatory, and 2.5 GHz processor or more, 500 GB normal hard disk or 1 TB normal hard disk. And what are the other requirement is like 64-bit OS and VMware workstation and Hyper-V and VirtualBox. So VMware Hyper-V VirtualBox is free from Oracle, and Hyper-V is from Microsoft. VMware workstation is from VMware. We can do these practical any of these Hyper-2 providers. The reason why I'm doing in the VMware workstation is like the user interface is very friendly and I am addicted to that VMware workstation. And coming to this, my environment, I'm using Lenovo Y520 laptop. In that I'm having 32 GB RAM, 1 TB SSD hard disk, and as well 1 TB normal hard disk. I have totally I have 2 TB hard disk. Having Intel CPU with 4 physical cores, and virtualization is enabled in the BIOS, so that if we enable the virtualization, the physical cores will logically act as like a multiple V cores. One physical core logically divide as represent themselves as a two physical V cores. So that is the reason I have totally 8 V codes. I am using Windows 10 64-bit OS and VMware workstation 6.10, and this is my environment. Okay, coming to demo configuration, first we need to install 3 Windows Server OS. On OS we are going to configure DNS and as well as a domain as well as storage features, and 2 remaining are called as member servers, and these 2 we are going to add into the first one. In these 2 SQL Server we are going to install always on and clustering and log shipping and replication mirroring practicals. To do this video successfully, error free troubleshooting, we need to check the few of the basic practices, and all members should be a part of the domain, and most of the firewall should be off. Okay, why the reason I'm saying that is like firewall always stop the communication but from one system to another system. Actually this is not recommended. Why? Because we are not firewall administrators. The real time the firewall should be enabled and we need to allow the traffic in the firewall. Okay, but we are not professionals, right? So we are leaving that topic. Okay, and I will show you anyhow how to enable the ports through firewall as well. Okay, so before doing anything, we need to check the communication between the domain and member servers, and also we need to check the NS lookup for server, either the DNS is resolving the host name to IP and vice versa. Okay, and always we need to log in with the highest privileges with that domain administrator or the user which is having the domain administrator privileges, or which is the part of the domain administrator groups as well. These are the step by step. These are the basic parameters. I have framed few steps to do this practical in easy way. Let's discuss one by one. Okay, first we need to enable the virtualization in the BIOS. Why? Because to act this as a physical vCores into logical vCores with the double. Okay, and we need to install the VMware workstation and install the guest OS and disable the IPv6 and configure the IPs as shown in the demo environment. And we need to install the extra network adapter for node 1 and node 2 and node 3 for heartbeat purpose. Install Active Directory and configure forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zones in domain OS. Disable the password complexity policy in the domain. The 6th point is just like for our convenience purpose, it is not recommended in the real-time environment. The password, this is my system and nobody is going to use my system, so that is the reason I don't like to enter the long length password. Okay, so that is the reason I want to disable that. Why? Because if I kept the password in simple way, just like 123, I can easily type it, right? So that is the reason I included this as well in the practical, and we need to disable the public, private and domain firewalls in the domain OS, and as well as node 2 and node 3 as well. Once you join the member servers into the domain, then only the domain firewall will get added in the systems. Okay, and we need to install the node 1 and node 2. .NET Framework has to get installed. Once it gets installed, we need to install ISKC target server in the domain system, and we need to create a multiple virtual hard disk in the domain, and we need to assign to the node 1 and node 2 for the clustering purpose. And once it is done, and we need to connect to the ISKC target through ISKC initiator in the node 1 and node 2, and we need to install the failover clustering feature in node 1 and node 2, and automation server feature as well if we need to use active cluster. Okay, and we need to install SSMS in node 1 and node 2, and we need to install the standalone SQL Server Hyderabad 1 and 02, and I don't have 3 systems, right? That is the reason I'm going to install extra standalone SQL Server. Sorry, it is not 14, it's 19. It's 19. Okay, that is and we need to install one more SQL Server 2009 Hyderabad 03 in node 1 as well. Why? Because for the practicals like log shipping, mirroring and replication, we need 3 servers, and we need to enable always on feature on both standalone instances in node 1 and node 2, and configure always on. We need to validate and create the cluster and install the SQL failover cluster in node 1, and add this and install SQL Server with add a node to cluster option in node 2. This works as an active passive cluster. If you do the same thing in node 1 and node 2, and this could be called as a active cluster. And if you have any data sample databases, you can add those. Otherwise you can manually create any any database as well. Okay, and later we have to configure log shipping, mirroring and transaction replication. So let's do the practical step by step. Before going to that, and we need to restart our PC. Before restarting the PC, it is not possible to record that. I have took some screenshot. After restarting the PC, we need to press the delete button or escape button or F2 button. We need to have hardware buttons beside of the laptop depending upon the company laptop you are using. So once you are enter into the BIOS where we have no configurations or something, different options will be there. Here Intel virtual technology will be there. Here we need to enable the Intel virtual. Okay, once enable that, we need to install the Vmware workstation. Currently we are using 16.10. Why? Because it is the latest one. Vmware workstation full. Okay, and right click on that, click on run as administrator. Select next, select the accept the terms in the license agreement, check the box and proceed to next. Enhance the keyboard driver option, select that. This will make you to copy the files from the host system to the VMware operating systems. Remove this point, remove that. Why? Because unnecessarily that program, the what are the bugs we have in the workstation that will get uploaded to the VMware workstation. So this is not required for us. Select install. Click on license. Paste your original license only. Okay, click no. So before restarting, I would like to show my environment. Previously I have showed in the test format. Click on that. CPU. Coming to CPU, here I have one socket with 4 physical vCores, and virtualization is already enabled, and so once enabled, that physical vCores will get double. So here we see that total I have 8 vCores. Coming to memory, I am having 32 GB RAM. Here you can see that in 32 GB 21.1 GB is available. Here my C disk, you can see that. Okay, this is SSD hard disk. Okay, and this is normal hard disk 1 TB, you can see that. See, if you see that capacity 932 GB, so the remaining GB will go for the storage operating system internal files. Okay, this is and if you see that this is the 1932 GB total. I have two hard disks, one is SSD and another one is normal hard disk. And coming to graphics, I'm using NVIDIA Intel integrated as well, NVIDIA as well. Okay, the files like I will show you here. We need to go install Windows Server 2009 operating system, and we need to download all these files. Okay, no need to worry at all. I will upload all these files and will give the download link in the description box. This is the Windows Server 2019 Windows Server OS operating system disk file, image file, and this is SQL Server 2019 image file. Okay, click on new create virtual machine. Why? Because I have seen some issues with typical, so that is the reason I am selecting the custom operating system, sorry, custom option. Select next, next, next. So I am naming it as a I am naming it as a domain. I am placing this SQL Server in the create a new folder and name it as a domain. Select 4 GB is enough for domain. Use bridge networking. Set as a like 250. Once the operating system got built, we need to click on edit virtual settings. Click on net like just CD DVD. You select use ISO image file. Click on browse. Go to desktop and click on files. Select the Windows operating system. Click OK. Okay, like that we need to create two more operating systems, two more VMs. So next, 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 next. We call it as a now. We are calling it as a node 1. Now I am placing these files in G drive. I am configuring for 8 GB. Use bridge is enough. One, click on edit virtual machine. Go to CD. Select USB. The same thing. Desktop files. OS. Click OK. Go to home and create one more VM. Go back. Go to G drive. Click new folder. Name it as a node 2. Name it as a node 2. Set the memory to 8 GB. select use bridge networking. Next, yeah. Next, allow the disk space now, store as a single file. Next, finish. So the same thing, click on edit virtual settings, go to CD DVD, select use ISO image, browse desktop files, select the OS, click OK. Now go to domain and power on the virtual machine. Button, and go to node 1, click on power on virtual machine, and go to node 2, power on virtual machine. Go to domain, next, install. Now I am selecting a data center evolution desktop express 64-bit edition. Click next, select the accept license terms, proceed to next, select install, new, and meanwhile proceed to node 1. Letter, small letter, number and character. Click on finish. Now we successfully build the domain operating system. Now we need to install the VMware tools. VMware tools is like drivers, so that we can get a full screen, and we can swap files from the home operating system to the VMware. So go to VM and select install VMware tools. Click on install. Otherwise, go to this PC. Here you will get this kind of image. Okay, select that, open new window, select 64, select setup, select complete, next, install. Click no. Now The same thing we need to do for the node 1 and node 2. Okay, now let's see what are the other steps. When we have installed everything, the other thing is like we have completed that third step. Now we need to disable the IPv6 and configure IPs as in the demo environment. If you go to the demo environment, here the domain is ABC, and here 50 1 2. Okay, and extra high heartbeat is like 101 and 102. Okay, and okay, and now what I am going to do here is like I need to install, so I will proceed with this step. Later I will do this step. Okay, go to node 1, click settings, select network adapter, click add, select network adapter, finish. Okay, select the NAT as only. Okay, go to node 2, settings, network adapter, click add, select network adapter, finish, click OK. this extra network adapter is used for clustering purpose only. If you are not using any clustering features, it is not required. Why? Because the main aim of this video is to cover all the practical videos in one. Okay, now go to domain. Actually it's not domain, we need to configure as a domain. Select Windows R and type ncpa.cpl. Select the adapter, go to properties. Here we need to select disable the IPv6. Okay, select the IPv4, click on properties. Here this one, select type as a 10.0.0.5. okay, 10.0.0.5, 10.5. Once it is configured, we need to click on status, click on details to see that the IPs are assigned or not. Yes, it successfully get assigned. Now go to node 1, select yes. Okay, go to network adapters, cpa.cpl network 0 plus disable the IPv6, select the IPv4, click on properties, use the following that one, go to node 2. Okay, disable the IPv6, select the properties, two, close, click on go to next adapter, disable the IPv6, select the protocol. Here 192.168.1.2. We have configured all the okay, this is one. Click on manage, select add rules and features, next, select Active Directory domain features, click next, next, okay, next. Active Directory domain future. Okay, so now what I need to do here, I need to change my computer name. Okay, this is no call. So click this PC, click on properties, change to Russia. So after running the PC, to make this change effective, we need to restart the PC. Click on restart now. Select Alt Control Delete and enter the password. Now open the server manager, select this flag button and click on promote this server to domain controller. Select abc.com, write abc.com, next. Next. Once that done, go to cmd, type gp update. Now ping self ping this and 2. So I am unable to ping to the node 1, no problem. Just check that to the domain. Node 1 it is pinging. Why? Because I have given the name domain IP name as a DNS for node 1. Because of that reason it is able to connect. Now check the communication from domain to node 1. Ping 10.0.10.0.10.0.1. I am unable to ping from domain to node 1. So now what I need to do here is like I need to go to the firewall.cpl, so click on turn on, disable all this, go to node 1 and ping once again. I am able to write, so it's the same thing we need to do. Now go to domain and check the communication. Now I am able to communicate. Now go to node 1, go to
click on PC, right click on PC and there click on properties, click change settings, change route to domain. So once you successfully joined these two systems, so either you need to check these are the successfully added or not in domain. So go to domain, okay, open server manager, click DNS, go to Asha, click on forward lookup zone, click on ABC, node 1 and node 2 is there, okay, and main and also click on active directory users and computers. See, between computers we have successful, these are successfully added by the user once we added the node 1 as member servers into ABC domain. The third point is like go to DNS, click on node 1, select update PTR record, click apply, okay, click node 2, apply, go to reverse lookup, point 1 2 is a okay. Now what we need to check is CMD and check NS lookup, NS lookup node 2 dot e node 2 dot abc.com. Yep, successfully connected. Yeah, it's successfully resolving to the concerns IPs and everything, and I mean it seems like everything is working fine. Okay, so again check the firewalls, everything is off. Click on that, click on other user, abc/administrator. to node 2 and do the same thing. Can manage add roles. We successfully connected to the recently installed SQL Server. Let's do the same in Node 2 as well. Again, we need to come back for Node 1 and we need to install SQL Server SQL 2019 Hyderabad 03. Node 2. Select data services, replication, client tools, connectivity. Client tools, backward compatibility. Select SQL 2019 Hyderabad 02. This is the naming convention I want to give. these two are enough because the remaining all the features we already got and get installed the previous installation. SQL 2019 Hyderabad 03. Now to node 1 is 3. I have installed three SQL Server instances. Two are in node 1 and one is in node 2. Another one is okay. So I'm successfully able to connect to all instances which are installed in multiple operating systems in from node 1. Okay. Now one of the one of the best practice is what are the SQL Server instance startup accounts will be there that has to be added to the local administration group. It is already added, right? So no problem, just I am showing the practical. Okay, no problem, not required for node 2. Okay, if you are using another account apart from this, so that is the reason how to add, that is it I showed you. Go to server manager in domain, click on file storage, click on iSCSI, have the node 1 and node 2 IPs. Provide the storage IP, which is 150 and have 10.10.0.50. So click connect. So click OK. Click on tools. Click on computer management. Disk management. So for 20 GB I am going to assign X, the drive letter X. చెప్పు ప్రసన్న. లేదు ఏరోప్లేన్ మోడ్లో పెట్టాను, చూసుకోలేదు. అంటే వైఫై ఉంది. అంటే వాడు నువ్వు వాడుకోపోరా.
Now I'm going to create a cluster. Open server manager, click on that, click Failover cluster manager. Create cluster. Next, add node 1 comma node 2, add, click next, 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 text. Type in dot hyphen SQL okay. Expand the cluster, exit, click on the roles. We have 2 nodes, we have 3 disks, and we have 2 network. One is cluster and one is cluster and one is for cluster only for heartbeat purpose. Now go to the domain, go to Active Directory users and computers, click on computers, click on object, click on delegation, trust this computer, give authentication, click apply. Okay, now open managers, SQL Server configuration manager, select the first instance availability group, check the box enable always on availability groups, click apply. Okay, do the same thing for other instances as well. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to restart that. Now do the same thing for the another instance which is having in node 2. Go to node 2, Control Alt Delete,
select configuration manager, services, select servers and group, click enable, click OK. And restart the agent as well. Okay, and now we need to do the always on. Go to node 1, expand the databases. Yeah, now what I am doing here, I am creating a new database called always on AO. Okay, I am creating a new table ID, data type init, name, created one table, I have inserted one record. So now what I am doing here is like I am going to main drive. I am creating one folder called AO. I am sharing to everyone. Select backup, full recovery. Take the log recovery as well, log backup, log. Yep. Now what I am going to do here is I am going to restore in secondary one, restore database, select the device, click add. Now recovery, database was restored successfully. Now click on that new task, select always on, expand the database, select the always on groups. Now availability group is that. Always on group 01. I don't want any metrics. Select the database, click next. Done. Expand the databases. This is the primary replica and secondary replica. This is the database. Okay, go to secondary instances, expand the databases. Now it is synchronizing. Why? Because we already manually restarted, right? So that is obvious. So data will be obviously present here. Now what I am going to do here, I am going to expand the databases, tables. I am adding one more record. So just refresh and go to secondary node and try to see the data is present is or not. See, the data is already delivered to the secondary node. This means we successfully configured the always on practical, and we cannot able to do this. Why? Because this node 1 and node Hyderabad 02 and 03 are present in same operating system. That is the reason we cannot add this Hyderabad 03 as a another replica. Now what we need to do here is like we successfully configure always on. Next we need to concentrate on clustering. Go to databases. Okay. Select the SQL Server ISO, click on Mount, select Setup, run as administrator. New. So that, and click on new SQL Server Failover cluster installation. Next. select that. Server SQL Server 01. Now we have installed SQL Server cluster installation. Now what we need to do here is like we need to go to another node. Okay, select the SQL Server node. Click installation. Here we need to click on add node to SQL Server Failover cluster. Now we have successfully installed active passive cluster. So open SSMS, go to node 1, open cluster manager. If you see the roles here, always on is already running. This is the SQL Server cluster which will appear as a role. Okay, now open SSMS. Now here type the cluster name SQL cluster 01 / SQL Server Hyderabad 01. So now we have successfully get connected to the SQL cluster. Open the databases. This is the new cluster, right? So we don't have anyone. Now what I am doing, I am creating one new database called text. If we open here, SQL select at the server name. This is server name. Now select star from sys.dm underscore os underscore cluster nodes. Currently both are node 2 and node 1 is up, both are up, but the current owner is node 1. Now what I am going to do here is I open cluster manager. I am going to okay, I am making the rules. I am changing the my SQL Server to move to another node. Okay, as you see the resources and everything, Discord, cluster Discord online and everything. SQL Server name, resolution, yes. These are the only thing pending. Yeah, now everything went fine. If you run this command, node 2 here the one the current owner is now, this is the previous operation, right? So now it will, the one will go to the up. So select that, current node 1 is 1. So this is the how this is how clustering works. Okay, click refresh. Okay, now but right now what do I need? I don't want to run on this. I will move back to the node 1 only. Okay, now this is called as the active passive cluster. Now what I am going to do here is like I am going to configure, go to node 1, go to SQL Server, select new SQL Server Failover cluster installation. Select next. Now SQL cluster 02 instance SQL Server 02. now go to node 1, expand, open the SQL Server installation wizard, click on installation. Here, instead of clicking new SQL Server installation, now we need to click on add a node to SQL Server Failover cluster. Now this is the SQL Server cluster manager 2. This is, we call it as a active cluster. The reason why I am telling here is like, spelling mistake, right? So SQL cluster. Okay, so this is the master. Currently in this machine, node 1 is an active node. Okay, and the same command I am executing in the cluster node 2. Here the node 2 is the current owner. So what will happen, we need to run some of the databases in the cluster 1. If it is failover, for example, I have 50 databases. Okay, in 50 databases, 25 databases are running on cluster on SQL cluster 01. Okay, and remaining 25 are running as a on cluster 02. Okay, assume that. So anything happens on cluster 01, so automatically it fail over to 02. I mean to the node 2. Okay, at the same time, 25 databases are running on these databases. If anything happens in the cluster 02, it automatically fail over to the node 1. So this is the reason why, because at the same time both node 1 node 1 is active and node 2 is also active. That is the reason we call it as the active cluster. Okay, now I am closing the. So once everything you configure everything, so the objects will be created automatically in the DNS. In the computer objects. Open that, click refresh. See, cluster 01 02 object. Open delegation, trust this computer, click apply. Click on that delegation, trust this computer, click OK, apply. Okay, now go to node 1. I am removing all these clusters I don't require now. Now I am creating I am showing you log shipping. For log shipping we need to create two databases, so two folders. One is called ls backup, another one is called ls restored. We need to share the both files. I am read and write. Read and write is not required. So, but to go the practical smooth, I am giving the whole permissions. Now create one more database here, log shipping test. Okay, backup full. Take the log backup as well. Select the log, click OK. Now it is very small database, right? So I am going to give the to restore this to the wizard itself. Okay, so select the Now run the backup job. Success. Now successful. Now go to the database. So now it was restoring mode. Now what we cannot able to check, right? So now go to databases, log shipping, transaction log, check on the secondary log, no recovery. Yes, click. Yeah. Now we need to wait for 15 minutes. So we cannot wait, right? So now we need to take the latest log backup by backup job. Run the copy job. Run the restore job. Now we are able to see the databases and data as well. So click refresh. Now it changed it to the restoring to standby. External tables says, see, the data will is there. And if you now I'm going to insert one more row here. So run one more copy job, backup job, sorry. Copy job. Now go to secondary node, tables, select. See, now it means we can the log shipping is working successfully. Now these are the two instances. Now we have third instance, but we call it as a monitor server. Alert job will be created. For example, if you want to see all the statistics, so Now if we see that log, here we will see the, this is the copy job, this is the backup and restore job. So this is the backup and backup job and a restore job. This was happened 6 times, means back. If it is not happen 16 within 16 minutes, that alert will get triggered. Okay, so this is how we can monitor the log shipping. Now let's go for mirroring. New create database, type mirroring. Table id init, one column is enough. Table backup, comma BAK. So we successfully backup the full backup and log backup. Now go to secondary server. Okay, restore that. Okay, now go to that node 1 properties, heading, configure security, set no. We successfully configured the mirroring as well. If you see that here, this is acting as principal, this is acting as a mirror. See, mirror, synchronize and restoring share. Okay, now create new database, replication, new table, id init, add a primary key column, set, save. Okay, edit, add 1 2 3 sorry 3 4 5 5. Okay, now go to replication. Now I need to select that node 1 is a publisher, node 2 is a distributor, node this Hyderabad 3 is equal is a subscriber. Now configure distributor, go to replication, configure distribution, click next, 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 next. Publisher, this is not a publisher, click next. And so I am going to click add SQL Server publisher, node 1, select node 1, next. Configure, done. Now go to no publisher, click local application, new publication. So distributor, follow, click add node 1, select the replication database. So here we have all the replications, but most of the time we use transaction replication only. So the almost the procedure is same, a little bit our P2P is different, but I will show you the transaction replication now. Click next, select the tables, next, next, create snapshot and link immediately, next, select, okay, transaction, transaction t repl, repl. Now we have successfully configured distributor and publication. Now we need to go to the replication, local subscribers, new subscriber, next, push, right, deselect new database, text, new, finish. We have configured the replication as well. Now to verify this, what we need to do, either we go to test databases, tables, select the top 10. See, the data is there. So we have successfully configured always on clustering, log shipping, mirroring and replication. I hope you like this video.